Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So I'm all the way back here today behind the drums because I'm starting a new song that I'm going to record with the Zoom. I'm going to start with the drums obviously, and I was just going to take you through it. I know I've done these videos before, but I learn something new every time, and I'm hoping that those of you out there in Zoom land are learning from some of this stuff as well, and maybe your comments will teach me new things as well. That's what usually happens. I'll make one of these videos and then somebody will come out with something really amazing that inspires me to try that the next time around. So it's the way I learn. So what I've got is I've got a full-length album I'm trying to complete. I usually do 10 songs, and the record's going to be called Are You Ready? Because the first song I wrote for it was called Are You Ready? And it just seems like a good title for a record. I was thinking of all those billboards back in the 80s I used to always see, like, are you ready, like, for the second coming, you know, stuff like that. Are you ready? Like a question mark. I don't know, just something powerful about it. So I'm going to go with that as the title, and this song is called The Fighter. It's a really simple song. It's basically a 3-chord tune. I think I throw in another chord in there, so maybe it comes up to 4 or 5 chords total. Very simple song, and what I find with simple songs like this that kind of open with a chorus is that they just sort of get to the point really quickly. You know, you can make your point really quickly. And what I usually am trying to do with most of my songs is trying to make give the listener like a dopamine hit of melodic pop. You know, so that's basically what it was trying to be. And then, like, as thematically, this song is sort of like, when it came out, I started thinking I can make my little version of like a Woody Guthrie, you know, this land is your land type thing. You know, the basis of the song is like the idea that we all can come together as people and not let like outside forces like the media and manipulators, you know, get in between the people and create confusion. So the song's kind of about that, and I'm excited about the tune. I think it's a fun, simple song, and I've had a chance to play it live, especially at a house party that I was playing a couple months back, and I got to play it there with my original band, and those guys are, you know, such great musicians, so they really made it sound good. And I could see that with it being so simple, it left a lot of like improvisational space, you know, like for a guitar player and a drummer, other musicians to just sort of take off with it and do their own thing. And if it's sort of like it's like a blowing in the wind type tune. It's like a real simple song that you could just kind of go off on. So that was kind of the idea of the tune. Now, drum wise, I'm not a great drummer or anything like that, but I wanted to come up with something cool, so I think I've kind of got like this pattern going. I'll just play it for you really quick. I'll put the headphones on just to protect my hearing. But the basic song is just like a simple beat with just kind of a little tom flourish almost every time. It's like just to give it kind of like constant movement. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it's a basically really simple kind of continual beat where I go dugga 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 doo da ga doo doo da doo doo da doo 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 dugga dugga doo da doo 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 da doo doo da doo doo da da doo da doo doo doo. Couple little upbeats sprinkled in there. Very simple. And I'm going to try to just plow through it. Now, miking wise and what I'm doing with the Zoom. Now, what I usually do here, I've got the Zoom over here so I can control it. I've got effects on, and I'll tell you where I'm going with the effects. I'm going to go to, let's see, where do I go to? Dual mic. And I'm going to go down to number 26, which is Big Shape. And if you know anything about these videos I make, you'll know that that's the one I use a lot. Number 26, Big Shape. And you'll find that in the dual mic algorithm. So if you go up here to Effect, hit Effect, then you go down on your little wheel to Algorithm, and then you just scroll through till you see Dual Mic, then you come down to Patch, and you're going to scroll through until you get to number 26, Big Shape. Just try it. It's a compressor limiter, and it's exciting sounding. It's like pretty squeezed down, and you get a lot of compression, and I use it on the snare. This mic has it, this overhead mic will have it, so it's in number 2, because that one, the dual mic I'm assuming because it means 2 channels. So you get a microphone for 2 channels as opposed to just 1 mic. So what happens is that effect only affects those that are the channel selection that you've chosen. So this is kind of tricky. You got to make sure you pick the right one. So let's go to the effect, and then we're going to go to input screen. So right here I have it on master. What I would want to do instead is to roll that to track 1 and 2. So that's where I'm going to put it, track 1 and 2. And that means that the effect is now applied to tracks 1 and tracks 2. That is a limiter and a compressor. Now, tracks 3 and 4 are unaffected. So here's how it works. I've got this microphone here. It is a AKG P220, and it is a large diaphragm frame condenser mic. So you have this large diaphragm in there. It's just a really good way to do a condenser microphone. This is what you see in like Neumann's and things like that, is this large frame, large diaphragm condenser microphone. So what I usually do is I got this little stick here. I've got a 3-inch mark here, right here, and I'm going to put the microphone 3 inches from the edge of the snare. I've already done it. And you can lift it up and play around. You can kind of go overhead with it. You can kind of get down at the edge of the snare. I find that it sort of sounds best, or I like the crack sound when it's sort of the diaphragm of the condenser is kind of lined up with the rim of the snare. I don't know why. Then I'm going to position this microphone 2 drumsticks. So I go to the center of the snare with my drumstick. I'm going to put another drumstick on, and you'll see I'll have to lift this up a little bit. So I'm going to lift it up just a little. Check it again. Make sure that it clears. Not quite high enough. So this is weird. Oh, I know why. This slipped down a minute ago when you have to kind of mess around with the cymbal so that the cymbal doesn't bang into the mic stand, so I had to move everything around. Okay, so now here and here, that's pretty close. Now I just go over here. Watch this. What you want is both of these microphones to be the same distance away. So I measure them with these 2 drumsticks, and I know for sure that I've got them the same distance because I'm just going back and forth. You can't move it here on the drum head. You got to keep the stick completely still, and you just go back and forth and measure your distance. Make sure it's the same. Now I'm going to fine tune this obviously, but I want to show you on camera just how I do this. So I'm going to measure here. I've got my measurement without moving the stick on the head. I just tilt it and boom, perfect. So these 2 microphones are the same distance away from the head. Therefore, you will not have phase issues. All right. So we've got our snare mic, we've got this overhead mic, which is kind of covering the hat, and this is also picking up the hat, the cymbal, this tom, this here, a little bit of bass drum. This microphone here, we're going to aim towards the bass drum. It picks up this kind of side of the kit. If we were to use the ride cymbal, which we're not, the low tom, which we do in this song, this tom here, all this is picked up by that. Then out front, and I think I have it 8 inches out. Yeah, 8 inches out. I've got the bass drum mic. And the bass drum mic is a kind of AKG copy. Forgot the name of the mic. The D112. And it's made by, that mic is made by CAD. It's a CAD mic, and it's really good. I like it. It's cheap, but it works. Okay, so I think it was like 40 bucks. So that one is sitting 8 inches out. Won't have phase issues because it's far enough away from these microphones. And you can experiment by taking that bass drum out. I find that if you take it out a little further, you get more boom. Closer, you get more like the impact. So I kind of get in between, so I get enough of the bloom of the bass drum, you know, because I don't have a hole in the head, so it's kind of sending it out. And then it's far enough away to get the bloom, but also get kind of some of the room. So I find that it works that way. I don't know, I like it. And I don't have any other microphones. So it's very, very minimal, very little chance of phase issues. Very easy to control because I've got the zoom back here, and it's really easy to stay in control of the situation. The other thing I do is I'm going to have my headphones on. I'm going to have a version of the song that I play on acoustic guitar with a click track recorded, and I'll be listening with headphones on, and I'll be playing along to that. I'll lay down the drum track. Once I get it down and it's a good take and everything sounds great, I can then track the rest of the instruments on that. It's almost like that becomes my click track, the drums themselves. So everything is set up and ready to go. Probably won't do the take today. I'm going to start practicing, and then tomorrow I will do the take, and we'll just see how it turns out. Have another discussion at that point, decide what we're going to do next. But from there, we'll just start recording guitars, bass, do the usual drill. But I just wanted to go through everything that I'm going to do with the drums on this tune and get into tracking it. So let's get into this. It'll take, it won't take too long because the song, like I said, I've been able to play it out live, and I have a good arrangement for it. I did have like a little intro for it, but now I'm thinking I'm going to just go right into it. Mainly because on the recording, I want the song to fall in like around the 3:30 mark, you know, like a pretty short song, 3 to 3.5 minutes long. But live, like I said, because it's so simple, I kind of think of it as being like Cortez the Killer or something. It's basically like an E minor dirge. So you could just go off and improvise and solo, make it be like an extended jam song, you know, if you wanted to, if the night was feeling like that and the audience was reacting well and everybody was having fun with it. So, drums with the zoom. Hopefully this helped. Next time.